Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite. I love this game, I really do. You know, here's the thing. So, I think about this sometimes. I love this game. I actually kind of dig the opening theme song, and I kind of dig the music in it. Like, it'd be kind of fun to put on in the background. Of course, so was the music in Pio Fiore and Bustafellows. But then it's like, I didn't get the Bustafellows limited edition. I didn't get this one. I don't know if this one came with the soundtrack or not. I'm not sure, but I know Bustafellows did. But I didn't get them. And then now I'm like, oh, yeah, and you can't. It's just silly that you can't buy the soundtracks later on. You just kind of have to buy them in advance and know that you want them. Which is kind of like, I don't know that. Look, now I know the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I absolutely want the soundtrack. So the second part of that game comes out, it's like, buy the soundtrack now. I know that. But, I don't know when I'm playing an Otome game that I'm going to want the soundtrack. And then next time it's going to happen, it's like, okay, I'll get the limited edition. And then I'll get the soundtrack. I could have gotten the soundtrack for any of my pre-order, like Olympia Soiree and stuff like that. Because they're like, oh, but you gotta order it now before the game releases. I'm like, but I don't know that I'm gonna like it. And then I'm gonna pay $10, get a CD, and be like, I'm never gonna listen to it because I'm just not. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the type of person who likes soundtracks typically, like scores where it's just music. But they never was anyway. But now I guess I find myself more like, oh, I can put that on while I'm working, and it tames the tiny terror. He seemed to like it when we play music. I haven't done that in a long time. He seems to be fine. But, yeah, it would be good in the background, and why? But, again, I would end up buying the soundtrack and being like, oh, I don't really like this one. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not as fun. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. So I never do, and then it's like you can't buy them after the fact unless you want to pay, $800 for them on fucking, eBay or something, and it's like, no. Granted, $10, even if they charge $20 if somebody on eBay, it's still cheaper than when you have to import CDs from Japan anyway, because my Grand Radio CDs are always $40 to $50. Thank God Amazon Music now has all their shit. So, I just pay for Amazon Music every month now, just so I don't have to spend $50+ to import a CD that then I have to load into my computer to load onto my phone, and oh yeah, I have to whip out my old computer because my current computer doesn't have a CD drive. So that's a pain in the ass. I feel like we've regressed a little here. We're in 2021, and yet I feel like it's 1994, and it's like, I got this CD, and I'm gonna load my CD in and put it on my iPod. And I used to know how to do all that shit, and now every time I do it, it's like a process. It's like, how do I do this again? Because I'm old, and I forgot all the shit that I used to be able to do so easily, because it's what you had to do. But anyway, that was a long spiel, but I'm just saying, thoughts of the day. Anyway, back to playing the game, still in Shelby's realm, and yeah. Oh no. I looked at the emails I'd received and just sighed. Even more clients were saying how much they wanted to meet my wife. Some of them had even sent multiple messages. Apparently the couple from the other night had gushed over her to get another client. And part of me had expected something like this to happen, but actually seeing the messages left me feeling deflated. I guess it's good that they think my wife is actually real now, but it's okay, I'm gonna become your real wife. Since so many people had doubted her existence before, our plan had obviously been a success. But when I started thinking about having to go through all of that again, I started getting depressed. I should probably actually get married before things reach a point of no return. So you're gonna get married to someone else, and then they're gonna be like, what happened to your— You could just say your wife died! Especially because she's so sick and frail. She died, isn't it I'm just saying, why does nobody think about this? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. There's the perfect cover Because now these clients met your wife. Now is the perfect time to be like, and then when they meet me later, if they happen to run into me, not wife Spacey, you're like, oh, we introduced ourselves, didn't we? Oh, we should have said something else. We should have made up a name. Just be like, oh, yeah, hi, I'm her sister. Twin sister. Also named Spacey. My parents were weird. Oh, my parents gave us different last names. I mean, obviously, she was Spacey's snail because she was married to Shelby. But I'm just saying, like, you could just be like, oh, yeah, I'm Spacey Mirror, and that was... She was Spacey something, and my parents were really ununique. Or like, wow, we're a doppelganger with the same name. I don't know. Like, chances are they're never going to see you. But if they do, you could just pretend you're someone else. You know, have a nickname or something. You know, whatever. Everybody's got a nickname. Just go by your nickname and be like, yep, that's my name. Woo. Yeah, Shelby's wife was my sister. Interesting, huh? You know, just lie. I don't know. I feel like it's just, anyway. If more people started thinking she's my wife, we won't be able to walk back a lie like that, and it'll cause her trouble. And sadly, all the matchmaking tasks I gave to Owen have resulted in nothing but disaster. That's because Owen's working with Mars and is trying to sabotage you, but okay. I'm sorry. We're not supposed to know that? It's his shadow, and I'm sure if we had the voice acting on, we would have recognized his voice, but whatever. Rejection, rejection, rejection. I'd taken her advice and added my income and assets to my profile sheet, and I wasn't surprised to see it had led to more matches. I mean, that's... It's not gonna hurt, but also at the same time, it's like, more matches because more people are interested in you because of your money. Not sure if that's the kind of marriage you want to go to, but look, Shelby, you're gorgeous. I love you. You can work all you want, and I am okay with the amount of money you make. That's fine. I mean, it works for me. I'm not gonna complain about it. Like, who is gonna complain? Because I'm be like, oh, I just hate the fact that my spouse makes so much money. No one in the world is gonna complain. Well, okay. There's very few people that would complain. You know, money makes the world go round. I hate to tell you that it does. Like, you know, you can survive not being rich AF, but like, most of us given the chance, would you continue on now or just you're rich AF? Can I be rich AF? Because I'm not going to be as big of an asshole or as detached and douchey as most rich people. Because, like, you know, I know what it's like to be like, fuck, live paycheck to paycheck. I think we've all experienced that at some point, right? Like, so rich AF would be nice for once. I mean, hi. I feel like rich people should experience living paycheck to paycheck and struggling and working part-time jobs, and the rest of us should get to experience being rich AF for the rest of our lives. I'm just like, I mean, it's fair, right? I just don't like not having money, okay? Anyway, these games don't help. Probably had more money before I started playing Atome games. I'm just saying. Oh well. They're fun, and I enjoy it, so. It's a good use of my money, I feel like. But in every case, they got in touch. Oh, I sent Owen out on a date with them, and then I inevitably got a rejection notice. I feel like it's because Owen is sabotaging it purposely. Owen's reports always mentioned how much of a problem it was for them that I couldn't reveal my identity. That's, I'm sure, also part of the problem. But I do think Owen is sabotaging you. I think that's a bigger part of the problem. His profile is just too suspicious. It's impossible to find a good match this way. And all their calls and messages go through Owen, so they can't even communicate with him directly. He even sends a stand-in to our member parties, so even the potential for a date is impossible. All right, this is when I was complaining about him. To him. Oops. I guess using a representative for matchmaking was always doomed to end in failure. Really? Just figured that one out? But unless I felt like I could trust them completely, I couldn't tell anyone that I, of all people, was looking for a wife. Of course, anyone I felt could actually keep such a secret would certainly be worthy of making my wife. Clearing my throat. Over here. Hi. What? What? No? Hi? What? Me? Just, okay. Just throwing that out there. Using a representative means I can't make progress. But if I could date without one, I wouldn't need the service. I'm stuck. She even mentioned before how it seemed like I treated marriage as if I were applying for a license. You kind of are, though. And she certainly wasn't wrong about that. I just wanted to get married because it was convenient and would make my lie a reality. But what else am I supposed to think? Love is just an obstacle getting in the way of my work. And my company is far and away my top priority. And it's kind of ours, too, so it works. All I want from a wife is someone who can help build smooth client relationships. In other words, to benefit my company. So this is the best method for now.
Are you in there playing with your little piñata? You're so cute.
I just heard this weird, like, cardboard noise, and I'm like, what the hell? He's got, like, it's, like, twice the size of him. It's meant for a much bigger bird, but you're supposed to put, like, treats inside and, like, foraging toy. But it looks like a little donkey freaking piñata. It's like a birdie piñata. And he could basically ride it like a horse, okay? But it's so cute, because every once in a while I poke in and he's playing with it, and it's just so adorable watching him play with this toy that's bigger than him.
Hi! You like your little piñata? That's being so cute.
Oh, you see, wait, you see me noticing you, and now you're like, I'm done, not gonna play with it now? He only ever plays with his rings and sometimes his dingly balls. And, okay, in his cage bells. Like, he's got his couple of favorite toys, and sometimes he'll play with other things, but not that often. So it's actually just really cute when he plays with, like, his little donkey frickin' piñata. Anyway, sorry, it distracted me. Welcome to the channel. I'm distracted by everything. Squirrel! Anyway. Especially if it's shiny or sparkly. So this is the best method for now, but it still makes me feel uneasy. I feel like I'm abusing my position as her boss. But she seems totally willing to cooperate with me on this, and so I guess it should be fine. I was suddenly reminded of that day she came in for her final interview. Oh my god, flashback to, like, way back times? To me, marriage isn't the ultimate goal. I want people to meet and fall in love and find happiness in marriage. I want to be an individual Cupid, connecting people and bringing them together. Yeah. She was totally different from any of the other applicants. Being a president means dealing with lies and half-truths. I was so used to that, her utter sincerity truly moved me. Her eyes told me that she had an earnest desire to bring people together. Other applicants seemed to only want a nice, cushy job at a big, established company. Yes. Also want a nice, cushy job at a big, established company. Sounds good. Wait, I kind of have one of those. It's not exactly cushy, because, you know, in this day and age, you're like, it seems like it's cushy until they rip that cushion out from underneath you and you land on the cold, hard concrete, but still, big established company, yes. So, and she was so pure in comparison. And maybe that's why, even after we hired her, I would still worry about her when I saw her around the office. No, you were just insta-attracted to me, pretend. Shh. She was so passionate about the job, and that passion only seemed to grow day after day. And not only that, but she got results. I was surprised to find out she'd become our top bridal advisor after just a year. As the company's founder, of course I was happy to have such a passionate employee. I think that's why I trusted her, because I knew her desire was genuine. I thought she'd never betray the company. Her work speaks for itself. As someone who lives for his job, that was my highest standard of judgment. I'm so sleepy. As I headed to work, I had to suppress a yawn. Now that I was living on First Ave, I had to leave even earlier than when I was at my Second Avenue apartment. Yeah, because now apparently the streets are, like, states apart. I lived on Second, and now I am on First, and okay, normal city blocks are not that far. First and Second wouldn't be that far away, but we saw the map. It's like a whole state. And I don't even get to see the president at all. He still wakes up before me and heads to the office first, despite going to sleep after me. His dedication to work was as strong as ever. I should really try and help with his matchmaking as much as I can. Sometimes I'd catch Mr. Snail with a panicked look on his face. It seems like he's pushing really hard to get married for real. As his advisor, the best thing I could do for him is to help him find a proper match. But we really should do something about his strategy of using Owen as his representative. It was almost impressive how bad Owen was at this whole thing. Again, probably on purpose. He just repeated Mr. Snail's words verbatim and glossed over crucial details. I sometimes wondered if he was trying to help at all. Ding, 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 ding. What? Well, we've had more applicants lately, so at least we've been making progress in that regard. I've been reviewing his account since then. President Shelby, aka Monsieur Essay, registered with us quite a while ago. But he didn't go on dates or show up for meetings. He'd write terse emails with absurd demands. He was like an evil spirit. One thing led to another, and eventually he landed himself in the Parasite 5. I'm still so embarrassed that I wasn't able to find a wife for a single member of Parasite 5. It was a real stain on my reputation as Cupid. No matter how many others I help, I hate that there are some I failed with. Gil, Ryuki, and Alan, I wonder how they're all doing. Raoul said he'd finished his research, so I don't have to worry about him. But the same doesn't go for those other 3. Still, they're not members anymore, so there really isn't anything I can do for them. My job is to help guide our current members into marriage. That has to be my top priority. So I'm just going to make the assumption, because it feels like it's the way it's setting it up, that like when you go down and say Gil's route, it's like he's the only one that stays and everybody else leaves so that you don't have to worry about them and then you're not finding them wives when that's weird. There's definitely a subset of the player base that is like, oh, I just kind of like it when they find happiness if I'm not in their route. And then there's the rest of us who are like, that's my property. You don't touch it. I don't care if we're not in that route. We're role-playing that I'm in this route, and that's my property. That belongs in my man harem. Don't you fucking touch him, bitch. Like, I mean, I'll gay ship them. That's fine. But, like, no other woman better come in and touch my fucking property. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, I'm very possessive about my men's. Okay? I have problems. All right, I have a lot of problems. But, yeah, so, like, I kind of see why they didn't. I feel like more people, when they play, lean to these are all my boyfriends, even if I'm not in that route, than, oh, I just want them to be happy. You're a good soul. But the rest of us are possessive, greedy bitches, and nobody touches our men. So, you know. Anyway. And you could pretend, I guess, in this, oh, they're out there finding their own matches on their own. Perfect. Shh. If that's what you want to believe. No, they're just sitting in the man harem waiting for me. It's okay. When I arrived at the office, I noticed a crowd gathered around. Good morning, everyone. What's going on? Why is everyone gathered up like this? Oh, good morning. Take a look. What is it? I made my way to the center of the crowd and saw a poster that said, Cupid Core 15th Anniversary Internal Competition. 15th Anniversary? That reminded me that when I first learned about Cupid Core, thanks to the hashtag Cupid Happenstance, it was their 8th anniversary. That makes sense, yes, because then we came down, we went to college, blah, 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 got a job, and it's been 2 years that we've worked here, so yeah. If you turn the number 8 on its side, it looks like the infinity symbol. Aunt Minerva said that was the campaign's inspiration. So it's been 15 years since the president founded the company. That's pretty amazing. I didn't think much of it back in Celestia, but 15 years is actually a pretty long time in human terms. Oh my god, especially when sometimes you're like, 2000 was like over 20, oh my god. And somebody has to point out, like, the 90s wasn't 20 years ago, that was like 2001. Oh, stop it! What do you mean the 80s wasn't 20 years ago? What? Stop it! What? Oh god, I'm gonna vomit. Seriously. He's been working and making progress by protecting and expanding the company. It's really impressive. And then there's everyone else. I know, I'm like 25. I'm so old. Oh my god, I want to die. Look, I've said it before. It's actually kind of funny to me now that, like, most people, when I was a baby, everyone was freaked out about turning 30. That was like the big, like, oh my god, I want to be 30. Ah, I'm dead. Ah! And now there's children who are literally 24, 25, like, oh my god, I'm so old. I'm like 25. I'm going to be 26. Oh my god. Oh, you sweet, precious babies. Trust me. 25, 26. Oh, don't freak out about that. Don't. Also, don't freak out about 30. It's stupid. Freak out when you turn 40, because that's when you're going to need it, because that's literally when shit starts falling apart. You might want to start your freak out at 35 because, like, 30, you're like, yeah, 30. And then as you get into your 30s, you're like, things are starting to hurt. Are they supposed to hurt? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then you hit 40 and you're like, wait, what? And then all of a sudden, you're like, I'm going to die. And you have a crisis. And then someone, by the time you get over your crisis, someone's like, you're going to be 50 tomorrow. What? I'm waiting for that. I'm not 50, but, like, I'm already prepared. I might as well be dead. In Atome game years, basically, if you're over the age of 30, you're dead. That's probably what it is. You people are watching too much shit, too many animes, too many games that basically teach you that once you turn 26, you're dead. I can't blame you. These games, they really do.
Oh my god, he's 26. He's so old.
What? Huh? My body hurts. Oh god. My soul hurts even more knowing that I'm basically fucking dust.
Look at your great-great-great-grandma sitting in the corner over there. I'm so old. I was around before it was the 2000s.
That's the saddest part, too. So many people now who are like,
oh my god, I was born in like 2002.
Shut up! Get out of here! Oh god. Oh, there were legal adults who never even knew what the 1900s were like. Oh dear god. I need a drink. Anyway. The president is amazing. I need to do even better to help him. Look, I've just been going through an existential crisis for the last few years, okay? It's just not gonna stop. That was true both as a normal employee and his wife by proxy. Inwardly, I started psyching myself up. Next to me, I heard an irritated sigh. Clarice? Oh. Let me guess. You're planning on entering the competition? It was a girl from the planning department. Oh, I made her sound like an older lady anyway. Who joined the company at the same time as me. She was glaring at me for some reason. Whatever. Huh? What's the competition exactly? Oh, so you're not gonna enter? You're just here to stand around and stare? Fine, whatever. What a bitch. It sounded like everyone was talking about the same thing. I looked at the poster more closely. It mentioned something about coming up with a product to increase sign-up rates and lead to more marriages. We already had a few plans like that, but they were looking for something new to celebrate the anniversary. Wow, sounds like fun. I said that louder than I intended, and someone stepped on my foot. Man, they hate you. Ow! So you are entering then. Well, I'm not going to lose to someone from the advisor department. Just because you earned that stupid title so young doesn't mean you can act cocky. After all, planning is my job. She stormed off without another reason. I had no clue why she seemed so annoyed with me. Huh? What the heck? My word, I guess she sees you as her rival. Clara suddenly appeared from behind me. Apparently, she'd seen the whole thing. Why was she mad? What the fuck is that? Tim, stop. Stop smoking shit before you type. Anyway. Why was she so mad? I'm gonna guess. She has pride in her work as part of the planning department. Of course she doesn't want to lose to another department. And you got a promotion after just a year, right? I'm sure she's jealous about that too. After all, it's not exactly common for someone to become the top bridal advisor so soon, right? Wow, really? Yes, really? Don't you remember? When we got hired, she was bragging to anyone who would listen about how she'd get promoted first. I guess I remember her saying something like that. She only mentioned it to us, so I guess it never got back to Mr. Snail. She's not gonna like it when you're married. She's gonna find out you're married to Shelby. But, like, not really. She's gonna be like, you only got that promotion because you're fucking him. Listen, bitch. I got the promotion and then I started sleeping with him. So, that's a win for me, I guess. I don't know. Your promotion definitely rubbed her the wrong way. I remember how irritated she was acting during your award ceremony. Wait, really? I wish you would have said something. It didn't seem important in the slightest at the time, so I forgot about it immediately. I only remembered just now. And honestly, like, why would you want that to ruin your day? Like, I wouldn't want to know. Like, just don't tell me. I don't want to know about these assholes. It just ruins, like, everything. Then you just know when you're working that that person over there is, like, a fucking raging douchehole and just makes you angry. And you want to just, like, chuck your keyboard out their head. You know, it's just better not tell me. Clarice winked at me and looked at the competition poster. This does sound like fun. And there's a cash prize for the winner. Maybe I should enter myself. You're right. What should I do? And don't give her a second thought, for one thing. Everyone's gonna get in on this, so no reason for you to hold back. We don't need the cash prize. We're making a ton of money being Shelby's wife. Clarice was right. Nobody benefits from me sitting this out. Good plans would rise to the top, bad ones would sink. That was up to the judges to decide, not me. In that case, maybe I should give it a shot. And then it's like, then you're gonna come up with the best idea, because we're the heroine, right? We're the main character, so everything we do is like solid gold poops, right? That's what happens in every like anime, TV show, movie, whatever, right? Any kind of media you can think of, like, we are the special, which is fine. That's what we're here for. But then that girl's gonna get really pissed when we got the promotion, and then we get another promotion, and then we win this, and then we're fucking the president. It's gotta look a little suspicious, despite the fact that it's just totally separate things, but, you know. More than that, the idea of coming up with a new plan was pretty appealing, since I dealt directly with customers so often. Sometimes I did wish that we had more specific, concrete plans, so why not build a plan to solve some issues myself? Alright, let's do this! I held on to that excitement and started thinking of new plans. I'd already forgotten about getting my foot stepped on earlier this morning. She did, she stomped on your foot because she's jealous. They should just name her Jealous Bitch instead of Female Employee from Planning Department. Jealous Bitch works. I'm off for the day. See you tomorrow! I finished my work and grabbed my stuff to head to the elevator. I was on the early shift today, so my day finished at 5:30. I'm going home early today, so maybe I should stop by the cafe. I was thinking about my project plan for the competition again while I waited for the elevator. Snobby bitch? Where's Shelby? The elevator heading up stopped first, and the doors opened. I saw Owen standing inside. Oh, hello. Are you heading home? Where did his accent's wrong right now? I don't know why I couldn't do it. Anyway. Yes, I am. But is everything okay? Sorry, but could you give this report to Mr. Snail? He needs it for his meeting first thing tomorrow morning. He said he'd be heading there directly, but it took longer than I expected, and I just finished it up. I need him to look over it, but he already left for another meeting. And I'm on my way to a meeting of my own, so I really don't have time. Oh, I'm really sorry, but can you take care of this? Huh? Sure, I don't mind. Thanks. You're a huge help. Well, here you go. Oh, I'm so busy, I'm getting run ragged. I wish I had a secretary of my own. Huh, an assistant for the assistant to the assistant of the president. Huh. He handed me a folder stuffed with papers just as the elevator doors closed, which would basically be Shelby hands Owen shit to do. Owen hands 99% of it to his assistant, who then hands out 90. So he's basically like, I got one task for the day because I handed the rest of it to my assistant. And then his assistant goes to his assistant. And then there's that poor person who's the assistant to the assistant to the assistant to the assistant of the president is the one that's doing all the work. Basically, how corporate America works. You're welcome. You're like, I'm on the bottom. I'm in danger. It had only been a matter of seconds between the elevator arriving and then leaving again. And he started complaining out of nowhere at the end there. It was right before the elevator door closed, so Owen must have thought he was talking to himself. But I heard it all. It's true that Mr. Snail himself has been working too hard, so having just one secretary must be tough on them both. More importantly, our interaction happened so fast, I didn't actually find out where Mr. Snail was. I guess I can just send him a message. Since we started living together, we'd exchanged our chat app contact info. Let's see. Owen gave me the report for your meeting tomorrow. He'd like you to look it over as soon as possible. While waiting for the elevator, I made sure to also ask where I might find him at the moment. Unsurprisingly, I received a response almost immediately. He's in the middle of an important meeting. If you're free, let's meet up at the Lost York Park in like 15 minutes. You can give it to me there. It's gonna take me like an hour to get there. It's halfway across the country. Based on the map. Just as quick as ever, I see. And his response was just as succinct as ever, too. I figured he must either be on the move or already in another meeting. He's near Lost York Park. Good, that's right on the way home. It is? Why would... First Ave was basically where Florida is. And Lost York Park was basically the middle of the country. I mean, I know it's not like the size of a country, but I'm just like... Wouldn't 2nd Avenue be before the park? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th... Like, if you're going from east to west... Park was west of 1st Ave. So I don't... Oh, right, but we're like on 7th or something. We're to the west of the park. We're okay, right. I wasn't thinking about that. Never mind. Right. Never mind. We work on one end of the country. Okay. We're west of the park. We have to go. Okay. The elevator coming down finally arrived. I stuffed the report in my bag and stepped on. It's interesting because if you called the down button and the elevator was going up, it wouldn't stop on your floor. So Owen wouldn't have been able to give you the report. It's not usually how it works. Eventually, I arrived at Lost York Park and saw Mr. Snail waiting nearby. Ah, Mr. Snail. Oh, thank you for meeting me. Clandestine meeting in the park. It's no problem. It's on the way home anyway. Well, if you don't mind, I'll be going... Sorry, just one more thing. Hmm? Are you doing anything right now? Going home? Nothing in particular. I was thinking about going to the cafe to work on my anniversary competition plan. I see. In that case, would you let me treat you to a cup of coffee? Dating my not real husband. Are you sure? Of course. I've been causing nothing but trouble for you recently. I hate my neighbors. I'm sorry. There's like so much screaming in the hallway. And it's not even like when people go into their house, you can hear them talking, that's fine, but then you can just hear people like screaming somewhere in the distance. Like, what the fuck is happening? Good lord. Is there like sports ball shit that's going on lately? I don't know. Anyway. I mean, actually, football did already start, right? Because it's like November, so that makes sense, but... Oh, I swear to God. Anyway, I cannot wait to leave here. Anyway, of course, I've been causing nothing but trouble for you recently. Well, if you insist, I certainly don't mind. We walked into the cafe and sat down. I ordered us some coffee as Mr. Snail flipped through the report I'd given him. As he read through it, his usual frown was on full display. He reads so fast. Not only that, but he can write messages at lightning speed too. I guess that's the result of 15 years of work experience. He's just a fucking robot. I mean, I don't see any issues with the report. He shuffled the papers, placed them back in the folder, and put the folder in his bag. And then he took out his phone and started typing up a message, probably to send to Owen. There, that should do it. But I really didn't expect Owen to hand off his report to you like that. Maybe I've been pushing him too hard. It might be too much for one person to handle. Owen basically said as much when he was standing there in the elevator. To be completely honest, he did seem like he was pretty overwhelmed. Are you planning on hiring another secretary by chance? Another secretary? I suppose that's something I should probably consider. Yeah, they can work at shifts instead of 24 hours. Owen's private life has been getting a bit busier as well. He recently asked for 4 days off in a single month. Mars needs shit, right? His private life? Did something happen? He asked for 4 whole days off! I don't know the specifics, but I've seen him using his non-work phone in the office more often recently. Yeah, he's messaging frickin' Mars. I even heard him say something like, I need to reply right away or else she gets pouty. I can't help but wonder who he's talking to. Because he wouldn't... I mean, it sounds like he's talking about us, but then it's kind of like... Who are we? You know what I mean? Like, who would we be talking to that he would be replying? Howdy. Could it be a new lover? That's what I was thinking, but obviously I didn't say it out loud. But Owen is an exemplary secretary. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. But it's not just a matter of hiring another secretary. It's difficult to find someone who can actually do the job well. More isn't always better, after all. Adding more staff would just make more work for Owen if they can't actually handle the work. We should ask Owen what he thinks. Do you want to continue doing exactly what you're doing, or do you want me to hire someone else to help you, but then you've got to deal with them and let me know if they suck and they're causing you problems? Yeah, that's a tough one. Which is why I still haven't come to a final decision, unfortunately. What's your take on all this? I see what we have to make a save? So, see what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, because we work on 7th Ave. That's why the park's on the way. Okay, I was thinking, like, we're down here in 1st Ave. 2nd Ave is right there. Like, what? And then I just wasn't thinking about, you know. Anyway, I want to make our, save number 3. Because we have to make a save before our next choice. And I'm not 100% sure if you can save in the middle of choices when the choice is up. I don't know if I've tried that, so. But I can see what our choice is, and it seems like it's going to be right around here, so it's fine. Anyway. Well, if it were up to me, yeah. Oh, you can save. Okay, cool. All right, I just didn't know. I'm like, I don't think I'd ever tried it, but I try to reduce the workload. I want to hire more assistants. Yeah. Ideally, I think it'd be great to add another secretary that you can really rely on. If you want, I could even help with the search. Although all I could really do is make a list of colleagues that might fit. And that would be a big help. I do trust your judgment, so would you mind doing that for me? Not at all. I can send you a list tomorrow, but I can't promise they'll all be a good fit, so you should probably make a job posting too. He's like, oh, I love you for suggesting this. And you're like, I love you for loving me for suggesting it. He's like, I love that you love me for loving you for suggesting it. We're just nauseating. I love it. Anyway. Yes, I'll certainly do that as well. We don't have any time to waste on this, but I must say, you really know your stuff on this. Mr. Stale smiled at me. He seemed happy that we were on the same wavelength. I was overjoyed that he decided to take my advice. Now kiss. Just then, our coffee arrived. Thank you for waiting! 2 HF special blends. The waiter put down our coffees, and Mr. Snail put his phone face down on the table. Anyway, that's enough about Owen. The truth is, I've been wanting to talk to you. You have? I mean, you are his fake wife. And I just wanted to ask if you're really fine with how things are right now. I mean, ideally, I'd like to be your real wife, but, like, if I gotta just pretend to be the fake wife, then sure, no, this is great. He's like, what? Nothing? You're talking about, like, with us living together and everything. Yes, well, I suppose I am. I'm just worried that you might be dissatisfied with how things have been going. This is literally the same fucking conversation you'd have with him if you were actually lovers. He'd be like, are you dissatisfied with things? Oh my god, have I come... Oh, good lord. Oh, you poor little insecure robot. You're so secure about everything until it comes to the romance part, and then you're like, I don't know. Are we okay? Is this okay? And he's so insecure, it's adorable. We don't see each other in the morning or in the evening. If these last few days have been hard for you, I'd like to improve things. As usual, it was nothing but business for him. Things I'm dissatisfied with. Of course there were things I wasn't happy about. Mainly that we never got to see each other. He doesn't get home till after I'm asleep, and he leaves for work before I wake up. We're living together to convince anyone looking too close that we're a couple, but we don't actually do anything that couples do. To be honest, I've just been wondering if it's okay that we haven't actually been living like a couple. Like a couple? But that's... For example, as your wife, I'd be happy to make dinner, which we could eat together. But we haven't done that once. Right, dinner. Yeah, I guess that's true. He's like a couple. She's like, like have dinner together. And he's like, yeah, dinner. Okay. Wow, Shelby. Pervert. It's fairly common for couples to eat meals together, huh? Very much so. During the dinner party, the other couple talked about their preferences. I have no idea what you like or don't like. Well, as far as that goes, one thing I don't like is fried foods. Well, Shelby, that's where we have it. You know what? That's fine. When we go to the fair, I will eat the fried fucking dough. I will eat the fried Oreos. And it's okay. You just go over there and have corn on a stick or something. It's like, I don't want any toppings. I just want the corn. And you're like, that ruins it. Do they have, like, fun corn at fair. It's been a long time since I've been to a fair, but I don't know. It was the first vegetable I could think of. You know, like you could just get a carrot stick. I don't think that out. I'll get the buffalo wings, whatever, and you can have the celery that's on the side, okay? It's fine. Wait, really? Oh, yeah, I guess I knew that. You wrote that on your Monsieur essay profile sheet, didn't you? Right. The only thing that wasn't true there was my name. I just don't want to waste energy on food that's hard to digest. But if it's hard to digest, then your body works harder, right? You burn more calories? Is that how... I don't know. All it does is make me hazy and unfocused. So I avoid fried food whenever I can. I mean, yeah, okay, I kind of get that. Because, like, certain foods do weird things to you. Because, like, me, like... Well, first of all, if I eat things that too full of sodium, don't even talk to me about how, like, bloated like a balloon I look. But it's also just, I feel like... just more unhappy and depressed. I don't know what it is. Too much sodium just... And then that sodium bloat is like... everything just... And I don't know, I just feel more defeated. Maybe because you're tired. But, like... when you have a normal balance, even if it's just a little over your daily intake, but like when you were like, I'm just gonna pizza tonight, or like you eat just like crap for like a week, it's like, oh, forget it. I'm just the biggest bag of miserable ever. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But I've noticed, like, you know, oh, I wasn't eating that well for the last few days, and I feel like crap. Like, just mentally, it's like, and I don't know. As usual, work is his top priority. Anyway, what I really wanted to focus on was if there was anything you didn't like about living at the house itself. Plus, he doesn't eat fried food, so eating fried foods would kind of fuck with him. Just like when I was, like, eating more, like, vegetarian stuff. I'm not vegetarian or vegan or anything. I would never be vegan, dude. I like eggs and cheese too much. But, like, when I was eating more vegetarian-type stuff just to get more vegetables in my diet, I didn't eat a lot of red meat, and then the first time I had a burger after that, I had never been more sick in my fucking life. I thought I was gonna die. I only had food poisoning. My body was like, fuck you, what is this? It, like, I don't know. It was not pleasant. So even now, because I don't eat a lot of, like, when I eat burgers, I eat, like, black bean burgers. So, like, now I'm still be afraid of eating a cheeseburger, like a real fucking, because I don't eat a lot of meat. Like, I might eat chicken, but that's it. I had tuna fish, though, today. So there you go, in case you wanted to know. But, like, normally I don't eat, like, if I have pork or any kind of meat, it's fake. Just to get more, like, you know? Yeah, anyway. Living at the house? I know it can be uncomfortable staying in someone else's home. If you want to change anything, I'm open to any suggestions. As far as that goes, nothing really comes to mind. If I had to pick one thing, I guess my commute is a little longer now. Do you want a car? Do you want, like... Huh. Oh, right, you take the subway, don't you? I suppose that was rather inconsiderate of me. Sorry about that. I feel like, again, the street where the roads are, like, further away than what they would be in a normal city. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's just a few minutes extra. Few minutes, and she means 2 hours. Maybe, but it's still extra strain on you. I'll think about it and see if I can come up with a way to deal with it. Well, I appreciate that. Mr. Snail was being unusually sincere. As a workaholic, he checks his emails constantly. He was being very attentive today, because he's kind of fallen for you, you know? We got some love hearts with him. Wait, he hasn't checked his email the entire time we've been talking. After sending off his message to Owen, he hasn't looked at his phone or his laptop once. Once the coffee had arrived, he'd put his phone face down immediately. Maybe he did that so he could focus on our conversation. That's, like, super fucking romantically sweet. You're like, oh my god! Most romantic thing ever. For someone like Shelby, you know? Focusing on the phone, I noticed it vibrating from time to time, which must have meant that he was continuing to get emails. Sir? I think you have missed a few messages. Right now, sorting out any problems you may be having is more important. It was clear he really was worried about any issues I was having with our fake married life, and she's like, oh, this is so sweet. I mean, for someone who's a workaholic like Shelby and is like in the middle, oh, there's a wedding going on, let me reply to emails. This, and him not looking at his phone once, aside from like, okay, I looked at the report, Let me respond. Okay, now let's focus on this. And it's like, oh, you're not distracted by your phone or your computer. I'm gonna cry. It's so romantic. He might as well have just given me a bouquet of roses. I'm just saying. He was obviously prioritizing our conversation. It's more romantic than roses, I'm just saying. Seeing just how considerate he could be, I gave him a reassuring smile. I'm fine, I promise. There isn't anything that's a real problem, honestly. But go on, you should really check your messages. But I really do need to get some work done on my competition entries, so you don't need to worry about me. He was still hesitating, so I went ahead and pulled out my notepad and pen. When he saw me do that, he finally pulled out his laptop. Now then, time to flesh out the details of my plan. You know what you should tell him? I really do appreciate that, you're taking the time to focus on this topic of conversation. It's really kind of you. And then that'll make his heart flutter. I reviewed the keywords I'd come up with back at the office and started jotting them down. The theme was basically a new product plan to help increase marriage rates. In other words, a new style of matchmaking. So, I started hitting him with my arrows. Started blasting my arrows. It was matching people up left and right. Worked pretty good for eons, I'm just saying. Currently, all of the matchmaking methods we were using were fairly similar. We had a group events and one-on-one sit-downs, as well as opportunities to go out and meet up at cafes, bars, and restaurants. Those are all divided up by member interests, age groups, and even occupations. But I was thinking about adding a more casual environment where anyone could feel free to join wherever they felt like it. There are lots of people like Melanie who are pretty introverted, and I'd like those kinds of people to feel comfortable too. For example, a low-pressure setting where people can just get together and chat about their hobbies or whatever they feel like. So she just invented meetup.com where you can, make friends with people. Or maybe a system where friends who already have the same hobbies can join up together. Again, she just invented meetup.com, okay. The main point is we have to find a way to create that initial spark for them. I wonder what the best way is. I looked down at my notepad to review all the keywords I'd written down. Cats, dogs, birds, books, movies, desserts, cooking. I looked each one up on Instagram and jotted down the most popular ones. Birds! Burbs! Desserts! Burbs and desserts. As long as there's no chocolate in the desserts, burbs and desserts. Instagram has so many cat videos, so how about some kind of cat cafe meetup event? Wait, no. I remember we tried that at some point and it was a complete failure. One girl got cat hair all over her dress. Another one turned out to be massively allergic. We got all kinds of complaints. Okay, turned out to be. But I'm like, if you are allergic to cats, you don't go to a cat meetup. If you don't know you're allergic to cats and you go to a cat meetup, you don't blame the event that hosted it. You're like, shit, I learned something new about myself today. I'm not going to sue the cafe or the cat or the freaking people that hosted it. They're not aware or responsible for your fucking allergies. You know? Like, yes, you might not have known you had it, but that's your fucking responsibility. Like, not anybody else's, you know? And then I got hair on my dress. What the fuck? Have you never met a cat before? Okay, look. That's like, I'm gonna go to a bird event and then be mad that the bird bit me or pooped on me. That's what birds do. They're messy assholes. But they're cute as fuck. Hi, what you doing? Oh, you biting each other? Oh, I caught you. I caught you being nice. I'll turn back around and pretend I didn't see a thing. They're over there preening each other. I just pretend I didn't see anything. But, birds are massive assholes. So are cats. I'm just saying. Anyway. Still, I think interacting with animals is a really good approach. That's what was on my mind as I glanced at Mr. Snail. Sitting right here was a man actively looking to get married. A hedgehog cafe, because they're small and little. But this particular candidate was currently completely focused on answering his emails. What about some kind of work-related matchmaking system? I wrote down the phrase co-working space on my notepad. A way to work and connect at the same time. Oh, but trade secrets could be an issue. How about putting people in individual rooms? No. How would that bring people closer? As I sat there, I recalled Monsieur Essay's original profile sheet. Mr. Snail has always prioritized his work over everything else. He truly was the prestige parasite. Since Mr. Snail was Monsieur Essay all along, that meant that everything Owen had said at the interview was actually about him. And on top of that, he admitted that everything on his profile sheet, other than his name, was the truth. Blind dating. Like, but blind dating. Dating in the dark. She had just invented that TV show. Like, you're like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have you put everything on your profile sheet, and people are going to be like, this person seems interesting, and then we're going to turn off the lights, and then you're going to sit down in a room, and then we're like, whatever, and then you talk, but you never see the person you're talking to, and then you just... I mean, it's all been done before, but there you go. Do dating in the dark. It'll be fun. That was a TV show, wasn't it? Probably. I think it was, but I never watched it, obviously. I don't watch reality shows, but I also haven't had cable in years, so... It says here that one of his hobbies is to be SS in all things. What does SS mean? It means to reach the very top rank, of course. Yes, that's what I've heard as well. It means to earn an SS rank. Okay, so his hobby is just to be the best? So he values social standing more than anything else. That's correct. And it also says he wants someone who can accept my work and push me to do better. So he wants someone to help keep that SS rank. Well, that's how it was described to me, yes. Like, you should have known. Owen was always there with... Well, I'm just saying. It just seems so obvious. But why is he so focused on being the best to begin with? Even if I didn't know the reason, I could relate to his desire. I love my job of connecting people together, too. Maybe that's why I was enjoying myself so much in that moment. We were working there in silence, but there was nothing awkward about it. Somehow I actually found myself having fun. And that's it too. And this is like, so I get this. Okay, not the like you're working, but like you're doing something else. Like, and I never understood how like for me, even though I'm introverted, if I'm sitting there just like not having a conversation with someone, but like I'm reading a book and they're playing a game, or we're just sitting there reading books together. This is like, we're together, but we're not. And it's like a weird thing. I don't even know what to categorize that as, because I feel like people that are way worse introverted than me, which I find a hard time believing that there anybody is, like, I think it's because I've trained myself years to be more outgoing and extroverted and force myself to be that way, because introverted was just always detrimental for me. So now I have this weird thing where, like, I don't like being extroverted, but nobody believes me that I'm introverted. Everyone's like, how do you... Oh my god, you've been alone for months. If you want, like my freaking eye doctors, if you want, you can come in here and talk to us. I'm totally fine. I've talked to you people now, and I like it. Don't get me wrong. Everyone at my eye doctors is awesome. But, like, this is cool. Talk to people. I'm good. I don't need to talk to people. Like, I'm already like, oh my god, I saw my mom, and I saw my friends, and I saw my eye doctors in October. And, like, now I'm like, I don't need to see anyone again until Christmas. I need that time to recharge. I have to see people every day at work. And I don't even see them. We just talk. You know what I mean? But, like, I'm totally fine with never talking to another human being for, like, months. I could totally be fine. But, like, I don't have an issue with if I had someone over and it's like, oh, I'm going to read a book. And they were reading a book. You know? And you're just comfortable in that silence reading books together. But I know that, like, I dated another introvert who was like, this is, like, too much people. Like, I gotta be alone. And it's like, you were sitting over there playing a video game, and I'm just over here on my computer. Like, we're not even associating. We're just in the same room. That was perfect for me. We don't have to be interacting. We're just in the same general vicinity. It's fine. But that was, like, too much. I don't necessarily know if that was an introvert thing, or that was just a, like, you don't like me thing. I mean, hey, whatever, but just don't lie about it. You know what I mean? But, like, I don't know. So, like, this kind of a thing where you're just like, oh, we're just working together, and you don't have to be on all the time with that person that you're with. You know what I mean? Or your friends. You could just be like, oh, my friend's coming over, like, and I'm going to be over here reading. You know, it just depends. Like, my best friend and I used to just draw together. You know what I mean? I'd go over her house, and we'd just sit there and draw stuff and, like, whatever. I mean, yes, we talked and stuff, but, like, I don't know, when you're dating someone, I could totally just because you don't do everything together, but sometimes doing other things not with each other in the same room just counts for me. I don't know. Anyway, I want to come up with a plan that'll completely blow Mr. Snail's socks off. Something that people could enjoy together, whether they were looking for marriage or not. Something with a different focus. I wonder what that might look like. I kept kept scrolling through Instagram looking for hints and writing down ideas as they came to me. Instagram has posts that cover all different kinds of topics. It's a great reference for brainstorming sessions. Do you remember the place on 7th Avenue? I saw a dress that was so cute, I couldn't stop myself from buying it for a date. Close. I went to Lost York Park this morning. So many birds there. Morning exercise is better than I realized. I'm pretty sure I saw a secretary bird, but maybe it was just my imagination. Animals? I tried to make some crab cakes. It's actually a lot easier than I thought. Cuisine? Oh, this cooking photo has a ton of likes. I took a closer look at it. The description said it was a couple cooking their favorite meal together. I was just thinking when I saw that, I'm like, maybe you just have like cooking classes and stuff. We did that as like at work, as like in my old job, as like a group bonding thing. It's like, oh, okay, we're gonna go to this place, and you did like. Actually, I don't know if we did cooking there. I think we did a little bit of something, but like we were gonna take like, okay, we go here, and then the person teaches you how to cook, and then you guys all cook together or whatever, and we went like blueberry picking and shit. So like, you know, it's actually kind of fun. Blueberries fresh off the vine are the best. Like store-bought blueberries, fine, but like fresh picked blueberries are just fucking above and beyond something completely different. They're just a whole fucking separate entity. Anyway. Together. Imagining it, I could feel the love. Two people in love, making food together. It must be a truly splendid sight. I hope I can keep bringing lots more people together in that same way. Just looking at the picture helped to stimulate my Cupid instincts. Cooking. A couple cooking together. It would be kind of a way to kickstart a relationship. I giggled softly to myself and wrote down my idea. You seem quite focused. Have you come up with any good ideas? I looked up at the sound of Mr. Snail's voice and saw him closing his laptop. Oh, look at him beaming at us. Oh, did you finish your emails? I did. Sorry again for interrupting our conversation to do that. Not at all. I think I've made a lot of progress. I'm glad to hear it. And so you mentioned the anniversary competition. You're thinking of entering? I am. It's the perfect opportunity for me to come up with a plan that can bring even more joy to our members. And that's very admirable of you. He's so turned on right now. Thank you. But I haven't quite figured it out yet. I've come up with a few potential ideas, but I was just about to show my notepad, but quickly stopped myself. Getting feedback from the president felt too much like cheating. My hand was just frozen there, halfway to handing him the notepad. Mr. Snail just smiled at me. I'm not going to be judging the competition, so I think it's fine to give you a bit of advice. Of course, I do have the final say, but I have faith in all my employees, so I'm happy to consider any ideas as they develop. Really? Really. So, may I take a look? If you insist. I spread my several pages of notes out over the table. Here's everything I've thought of so far. Pets, books, movies, desserts, cooking, and work. I see. Very interesting. I was like, bunch of random words. Interesting. Words are interesting, yes. A big smile crossed his lips, and a moment later he pointed at one line in particular. And why did you decide to cross this one out? Oh, that? Well, I thought it might be fun to just sit and work together, like we're doing right now. But then I realized there might be issues with secrecy and non-disclosure agreements, so I thought it might be too much trouble. And that's a good point. But personally, I think finding out more about how someone approaches work is a great approach. You could have workshop seminars. Like, you could be like, okay, it's a dating event, but it's also going to help you in business, so we're going to throw out like what you do at work. At work, you go to like, okay, we're going to bring everyone on a team together and we're going to do this training thing. And we're going to be like, all right, how would you approach this problem? Or how would you approach that problem? And sometimes you're like, I would never have to approach this problem in a million years at my job. But you know what I mean? And then it's like working together to brainstorm and come up with how you would do that. And like, that could be, you could do that and it would help people. Like, oh, I could go to this class. It's a matchmaking event too, so there's going to be other people there that are potential matches for me because I'm totally into my job. And I'm also learning something that would help me in my career. That's actually smart. Anyway. Really? Indeed. But this one's not bad either. I like the little catchphrase. I mean, the cooking one's more romantic, but if you're a workaholic like Shelby, you'd totally dig that, right? Mr. Snail used the tip of his pen to point out a slogan I'd written down. Cook together, come together. One's personality can certainly come through when they cook. I remember the argument it led to during the Parasite house. Oh, that's right. I'd almost forgotten about that. I was trying to forget about that. I was trying to forget about seeing everybody, including you, naked. Wait a minute. Everyone but Alan. He was the only one. You were like, I was trying to forget. Oh, now I just remember I've seen you naked. Gil and Alan had gotten into a huge fight about it. It was a real pain in the butt at the time. She's just like, nope, not talking about the naked part. They were arguing about calorie counts and how men and women should or shouldn't cook. I thought that was basically like you shouldn't always cook for everyone. I think it was calorie count. It was like you just do everything for everyone and like whatever, and then somehow it turned into like a fucking dick measuring contest. I'm sure conversations like that come up all the time in married life. Which was all the more reason to uncover habits like that before marriage. Much better than waiting till after the wedding. Which is why most people date and then live together for a while and then get married. They don't like date for a week and then get married. I mean, I'm just saying. I definitely agree that cooking helps expose someone's personality. It's an essential foundation of life, after all. Very true. And cooking has clear steps you can follow, so people who struggle to make conversation can just focus on the task. Habits tend to reveal themselves in the small moments of a situation, and that's a great chance for people to observe each other. True. Deciding what to make, how they wash and peel vegetables, even small things like that say something about how you think and act. Then maybe cooking and matchmaking really could work together. We could decide on a dish beforehand, but also let each couple choose what to cook for themselves if they want to. And that's true. Naturally, cooking experience varies from person to person. Yeah, definitely. Then maybe we could divide people up according to skill level. Or you could even give them nothing but difficult recipes and have everyone work together to succeed. Oh, that's a great idea. As the host, we could play the villain and create an environment where they all help each other. The villain, eh? It's interesting. It's a murder mystery cooking competition. If you don't cook this dish properly, one of you shall die. Cooking Saw Edition. Overcoming difficulties together can deepen one's love. It's a version of what's known as the misattribution of arousal theory. I can certainly see how that would be the case. We could also divide it into genres, like Japanese dishes or French cuisine. And they could go shopping together, getting to know each other by picking out their ingredients at a nearby supermarket. They're going way in depth with this cooking class. I kind of like it, though. I was getting more and more excited and started writing down lots of different ideas. I suddenly heard a laugh across the table. You really are passionate about your work. Huh? I looked up to see Mr. Snail gazing at me softly. His gentle expression made me happy, so I smiled back at him. Love. Blooming hair. I do love to work, I can't deny. I see. I'm exactly the same, as you know. I gave him another glance, then looked back down at my notes. Cooking and matchmaking. There was definitely plenty there to build on. Cute. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap this part up here, because we're finished with that slight segment. And then, yeah, so I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.